Hello students, now we are going to start Geography chapter number 2 part 3.
So children, now let us talk about soil resources of India. In your book you can see the map and you will find out that in which state which type of soils are being found. So here I am going to explain you different types of soil in our country. Soil means mitti. And here I remember a very famous old Hindi song, मेरे देश की धरती सोना उगले उगले हीरे मोती मेरे देश की धरती, which conveys the kind of variety and richness of our country's soil. Alluvial soil is basically of two types. It is that old alluvial called bhangar and new alluvial called khadar. Alluvial soil is the most important type of soil found in India and it is very fertile. It contributes the largest share of agricultural wealth. Many rivers originate from Himalayan mountains and bring a large amount of sediments with them. This sediment is deposited in the river valley and the floodplains. So we can say that the parent material of alluvial soil is always of transported origin. Children, the map given in your book tells you about the distribution of soil in our country. So if we talk about alluvial soil, it is found in Punjab, Haryana, UP, Bihar, West Bengal, Orissa, parts of Gujarat, Rajasthan, Assam, Brahmaputra Valley and the peninsular India. Red soil has been formed due to the weathering of igneous and metamorphic rock. The red color is due to the high percentage of iron content formed in the soil. The texture of red color varies from sandy to clay and the majority being loamy. On the uplands, the red soil is thin, poor and porous and has loose gravels. In the lower areas of the soil, it is deep, rich, fine-grained and fertile. With proper doses of fertilizers and irrigation, red soil can give excellent yield of cotton, wheat, rice, pulses, millet, tobacco, oilseeds, etc. Red soil is found in peninsular India, that is mainly in the states of Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, some parts of Andhra Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Orissa. Red soil is very rich in mineral. Now let us talk about laterite soil. Laterite soil is formed under the conditions of high temperature and heavy rainfall with alternate wet and dry periods. Such climatic conditions promote leaching of soil. Now what is leaching of soil? Leaching is a process in which heavy rains wash away the fertile part of soil, making it very infertile. Laterite soil is red in color and composed of little clay and with much gravel of red sandstones. This type of soil is found in Western Ghats and in the flat uplands where heavy rainfall occurs. This soil type can only support pastures and shrubs. Laterite soil is also found in some parts of Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. Both red soil and laterite soil has high content of iron. Now let us quickly read about soil erosion, which is a very important topic of this chapter. Soil erosion is the movement of soil components, especially surface litter and topsoil, from one place to another by different ways. Now what are these ways? These ways are erosion and depletion. And these take place through different factors. Now there are two different factors, that is physical and cultural factor. Now when we talk about physical factor is running water, blowing wind, slope of the land are some of the natural and physical factors. And when we talk about cultural factors are deforestation, overgrazing, mining, construction, overuse of chemical like fertilizers and pesticides. These are called cultural or human factors. Now we come to our next topic, that is conservation of soil. Soil is one of the most important resource for human beings as we grow crops in it for our survival. We need to save this precious resource as the formation of soil is very slow. Soil can be conserved by adopting different measures. And what are these measures, children? These are afforestation, overgrazing, new agricultural practices. Now, let us talk about afforestation first. Afforestation means growing more and more trees again and again. Afforestation is the best way to conserve soil, that is, by increasing the area under forest. In afforestation, we should stop cutting of trees and we should make more efforts to plant trees in new areas. Rows of trees should be planted in the field which act as a shelter belt. Now, how it acts as a shelter belt? This will help in preventing soil erosion due to wind. Overgrazing of forest and grasslands by animals, especially by goats and sheep, should be properly checked. Separate grazing grounds should be there. New agricultural practices should be followed, and these practices are crop rotation and intercropping. In this method, old crops such as wheat and pulses are grown in alternate period. Crops are grown at different times. It helps in preventing soil erosion from rainwash and replenishing the soil with minerals. Then we have terrace farming. Terrace farming is done in hilly areas. Plots are made in the shape of terrace to ensure flat surface for growing crops. It helps in reducing soil erosion which may happen because of runoff. Then we have counter plugging. In this method, plugging is done parallel to the contours of the hill slopes. This helps in forming unnatural barriers and prevents water flowing down the slope. We have mulching. In this method, a bare ground is covered with organic matter such as straw. Covering of the soil help in retaining the moisture and reducing growth of weed in soil. Then we have fallowing. In this method, land is allowed some rest to replenish naturally and gain its fertility back. Again, we have rock dams. We should build rock dams. In this method, rocks are piled up to make a dam. Such dams slow down the flow of water. Thus, it prevents formation of gullies and soil loss. Proper water management should be there. What it do? It regulate the amount of water in the soil, helps in stimulating the microorganism, which in turn increases the soil fertility, leading to high crop yield. In all social conservation, including all these measures which help in protecting the soil from erosion and exhaustion. Soil erosion has been continuing over such a large part of India for such a long time that has assured alarming proportions. Now let us come to the last part of this chapter, that is water resource. See children, water is most precious substance on earth. It is the essential for all forms of life on the earth. 70% of human body consists of water, and about 3/4 of the earth's surface is covered with water. It is therefore appropriately called water planet or blue planet. Water on earth is found in solid, liquid and gaseous form. This you have read in class 7th also. Water keeps on getting cycled through oceans, the air, the land and the back to ocean through a process of water cycle. I am showing you a diagram of water cycle here. With this you can understand it in a better manner. Water is found in abundance on the earth. but only about 3% is fresh water, of which only 1% is easily available and it is suitable for human use. It is found in groundwater, as surface water in rivers and lakes, and as water vapors in the atmosphere. A small fraction, that is 0.0019% of total water on the earth is in the atmosphere and at any given point of time. This relatively small amount of water in the water cycle is very crucial for us. It is responsible for producing all fresh water resources on the earth through the process of precipitation. Water resources of India. Human beings use water for a variety of purposes like drinking, bathing, washing. Water is also used in production of various things for our use. Moreover, it is used in agricultural process, industries and electricity generation. Increasing population has resulted in exploitation of water on an even large scale. This has resulted in shortage of water at many places. Shortage of water is a major problem in many parts of India. Now, how we can conserve our water resource? See children, access to clean and adequate water is a major problem in the world. Overuse of population of water have made it unfit for use at many places. So we have to conserve water with new techniques should be adopted to conserve as well as improve the quality of the water. How we can improve it? Sewage, agriculture, chemicals and industries influent are often discharged into water bodies either in partially treated or untreated form. They pollute the water with various kinds of contaminants. Treatment of these influents can help in controlling water pollution. Then we have forest and vegetation cover slow the surface runoff and thus help in recharging the groundwaters. Surface runoff can also be reduced by applying the methods of water harvesting. Canals should be properly lined to minimize the losses of seepages. Sprinkling and drip irrigation help in minimizing the use of water for irrigation and thus help in conservation of water. Adopting rainforest harvesting techniques is whatever way is possible. Now children, here I told you about the conservation of water resource. By becoming sensitive towards utilization of water, we can conserve water and also improve the quality of water. With this, we come to the end of this chapter. Now, along with this, I'm going to give you question and answers. It means assignment zone is there, and please write the answers in your copies. As soon I'm going to tell you about your next. With this, we came to the end of this chapter. In next part, I'm going to give you the assignment zone. Please write all the important terms. Do the book exercises, that is multiple choice question, fill in the blanks, true and false, along with answer in brief and answer the following questions. I'm going to give you the answers. Write them neatly in your copy and learn them. Don't waste your time, children. Time is very precious for you. And write all the important terms and learn recap from the book. Thank you.